As Nora sets the stage, just a brief introduction about her. She is a digital transformation advisor at the Erasmus University, Rotterdam. She has professional expertise with digital technologies, customer-centric design, and digital policy development in the European and other parts of the world. She held digital policy advisor roles for Dutch government, where she led digital programs and stakeholder engagement. And I also learned that she conducted research on smart cities and digitization, developing frameworks to guide organizations through digital initiatives. She holds a MBA in management technology and also a PhD in smart cities and technology management. Please.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It's an absolute pleasure being here today, speaking to a great audience from academia and industry, two forces that can shape the future of our digital world. Today, I'm going to talk about digital integration, one that can begin with simple but impressive question. Who is being left behind in our digital world, and what can we do about it? So this question led us to develop a multidimensional framework for digital integration, one that isn't just aimed to be a theoretical framework, but is designed to be actionable and human-centered. I heard that our great panelists already touched this topic and this issue. So I'm going to talk about the elements that can help us to foster digital inclusion for our future digital environment. So we started this research in a city, Helmond City in the Netherlands, very close to Netherlands tech hub, Eindhoven. So being close to the tech hub and access to digital technologies, innovative solutions, they are ambitious about going digital, making governmental services digital, but have concern about citizens at the risk of being marginalized. So we started this research with them. So about the problem, it's obvious, and I mentioned, it's already touched by the panelists and some of the speakers. The problem is that digitalization without inclusion. And we are living in the era that digital transformation is no longer an option. It's an expectation. But in this world that governments are rolling out e-services, businesses are digitizing their operations and also interaction with customers. And education is also moving online. This issue of digital inclusion, it's not just a divide, it's not just a gap, it's a threat to deepen our social and economic gaps as well. So technology, as discussed in many ways, is an enabler. It connects, it empowers, and drives innovation. But here is an uncomfortable truth as well. It also excludes. So more than 40% of EU citizens lacks basic digital gap. And as estimated, around 59% of global workforce will need reskilling by 2030. So these are not just numbers, these are real issues to be addressed. So our framework, as mentioned, is designed to be human-centered framework for digital transformation. We identified key 4 dimensions of digital integration, include usability, suitability, accessibility, and affordability. Usability is about using digital technologies. Can people understand and use digital tools effectively? It includes two main elements: digital skills and literacy, as well as inclusive design. So it's really important. Technology is a tool. Shouldn't be. It's not only people that have to adapt, but it's the other way around as well. So from the developer perspective, technology should be designed but in an inclusive way. So design by inclusion is a key element that must be considered from the earliest stage of developing digital technologies. Suitability is about this question that is technology designed with people's needs, their concerns about privacy and security in mind or not. So talking about people's real needs and context, people have concerns. So if you want to design a digital product or services, you should also build trust. Otherwise, people won't use the digital solutions. So it's not like this. The government says that from tomorrow we have this service online for you, and you can benefit from that. It's really important that you build trust first and clearly communicate the benefits of the services and digital products that designs. So communicating the value propositions of digital services and products is the key for digital adoption. And also, you need to consider people's concerns about privacy and security in mind from the beginning, not as afterthoughts after designing and launching your solutions. So, this suitability dimension requires a focus on secure, user-friendly solutions and systems that clearly communicate benefits and foster trust among citizens and users. The third one is accessibility. And accessibility is not just about connectivity, it's also about reliable, high quality, and high speed access to internet. So, as well as the access to the digital devices, computers, smartphones, and tablets. So accessibility ensures that every social group, whether seniors, individuals with impairment, rural communities, remote communities, people with low income or no income people, they can have access to proper digital devices and also connection. The first one is about affordability. Can people afford to participate in the digital economy or not? So affordability is about crucial barriers that exclude vulnerable groups, especially groups with low income or no income groups. So those people should also participate in the community in our digital world. So it's important to make ethical pricing for internet connectivity in collaboration maybe with industrial leaders and also private sectors to make that happen for them. But we also have some real insights from the city that we studied. We conducted our studies there. What we have done is to, after developing our framework, we conducted 2 participatory workshops. The first one with policymakers, and the second one with industry leaders and non-governmental organizations. In the first, in both workshops, and the findings from both workshops shows that our framework to them is validated. So they find all those dimensions and elements relevant to foster digital inclusion and integration among different social groups. And then in terms of different social groups in need of more attention, two broader clusters have identified. First one, high priority groups, including seniors, low-income people, people with impairment, and migrants. And second one, there are also key groups, but with a bit less score, are young generation, rural communities, children, and women. So, our finding discovered that seniors mostly struggle with usability. They are frustrated by digital designs. And also they have trust issue in digital portals, digital services. Low-income groups, obviously, they have issues related to affordability. And they need more support from government and society to afford having access to digital devices and also subscriptions, internet. Migrants have the issue related to language barrier. In Dutch context, migrants have to pass language integration, kind of integration test to have basic level, intermediate level of Dutch, but still it's quite complicated if you are not a native Dutch speaker to navigate to governmental portal. So language barrier for them is the main issue. And last but not least, people with impairments. They are not considered at the stage of design. Most of the digital services and products are not designed for them. They are not included in design aspect of digital services. So what can we do about it? So for my academic friends, we have to do more research, always. So we have to do more pragmatic research that can help and inform policymakers and also industry leaders to take action. So going beyond theoretical researches and translating all those theories into actionable plans for them and inform them in a way they can take action. And also measuring and evaluating the impact. So feedback is really important to see what works and what doesn't work. We usually don't do that. We just develop the framework and say, hey, we are these great frameworks, you can use that. But we mostly fail to evaluate how does it work? Or how can we adjust or improve that? And also the role of mediators is really important. Those who can understand policymakers' language and also have experience working and communicating with industry leaders. They have some foundation, knowledge foundation of policy, public administration, and also experience with industry. So they can connect them to work together to tackle this problem. And for industry, of course, it's important to put the users at the center, at the stage of design. That's really important. So design for real users, not just for tech-savvy people. So it happened to me several times that I called customer service for a platform, that I said, I want to do this task online, but I can't do that. I was like, it's so easy. I was like, am I stupid or what? Because it's not easy for me. That's easy for them, because they developed that, but not for everyone. So simplify, make them user-friendly, and think about inclusion at the design stage, not an afterthought. That's really important. And also privacy by default. So it's common that a product or service is designed, and then as an afterthought, they think about privacy issues or security issues, security measurements. So it should be at the foundation, at the design stage again. And also ethical pricing for affordability. So public and private sector can work together through corporate social programs and make the internet, make the connectivity more affordable. And as a conclusion, we know that digital transformation is there. We cannot escape from that. It's inevitable. So it's our responsibility to show that it's for everyone. It's not just for one or several normal groups, also for people with impairment, also for seniors, also for no-income people, and many others. Those people that they don't trust technology, those should be included. We heard today that there are some people that they don't like smart city concept at all. They don't trust it. So this is our responsibility to build trust, to communicate the benefits, also the challenges, the concerns as well, to make it clear for them. So as an open discussion with this great audience, how your project or your work can contribute to digital inclusion or integration. Are you thinking about it or not? Is that important for you that your services or product are used by different social groups? Are you designed for everyone or not? Those are the questions that can help you to contribute to this issue as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Really interesting combination of ideas here. One presenter really highlights the gap, spatial manifestations of smart cities, and then the other really calls for action for human-centered smart cities and the frameworks for digital inclusion. Is there any questions for our keynote speakers? We can take a couple of questions. Anthony? Go ahead.
Hi, thanks. My question was from Martin. There's a big smart city project in Saudi Arabia going forward right now called The Line, part of a larger nation building project called NEOM. And they're calling that a cognitive city. I was wondering if you've come across that term, and if so, how you think it fits into the whole evolving narrative that you described.
I think, yeah. You must be referring to NEOM, I think. I have not personally been there. I have recently been to Saudi Arabia, so I know what's on its way. I don't know the exact details of the NEOM project, but I know that basically nothing is crazy enough. You know, they would present helicopters for everyone, probably measuring how much energy they use. And nothing is wild enough. That what characterized China maybe 10 or 20 years ago is what is characterizing those parts of the Middle East now. Some of it probably will realize. I think they are trying to create a context in which new inventions can be made. On the other hand, it's also a risky investment the way they do it, because they funnel so much capital into it, and I'm not sure if all of it will be well spent. Regarding inclusion is a difficult topic because on some aspects, like the role of senior people, Arab countries do very well, but we all know that in some Arab countries the role of women is not so strong. And we may only hope that on all of these counts they come to a balanced outcome. I cannot predict it now. I know the situation, however, is changing for the better.
Yeah.
Maybe a new study
looking at
cognitive cities evolution.
My question is regarding data colonialism. Do you think that, do you agree with this concept, data colonialism, that we are mining data, extracting data, and not giving back and using it for corporate and other interests, and the same colonialism which happened before is continuing, but with data? About the global transboundary corporations like Google, Amazon, and Meta, and others, they go beyond governments, beyond boundaries and nation states. So who should regulate them? Will they feel responsibility? I know EU, GDPR, and others, but it's all distracted Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Brazil, and all of them trying to do something, but in their own way. But we need something global to make these high-tech companies, global companies, and AI, especially Silicon Valley, and etc., to be more responsible. And yeah.
Do you want to take any of those? Let me take the question on data colonialism. I don't want to get into the intricacies of the American political context, but my personal opinion is that we should use the word colonization for aspects that really have something to do with colonies. And control of data is important and maybe even vital, but I don't see why we should be using that term there, to be very honest. I think data control or data ownership is the proper term. And on the one hand, it's very vital to know where we are at, but I've also spoken to many lawyers and legal theorists, and they basically say, what is data? Where do you draw the boundaries between one piece of data and another? And how do you enforce all this regulation? So on the one hand, I think it's very necessary to know who owns what data. And on the other hand, things change so fast that it has to be very, flexible framework legislation to work, so that through, let's say, minor decrees, you can revise this legislation regularly to update it to the new context. So there may be a general legal framework required not with standards, but with procedural rules of how you deal with data and who should do what. And that has to be well thought through and comparatively lasting. And there should be regular ministerial updates that accommodate new technical developments to maybe update standards, update equipment requirements, etc. Regarding the other topic, maybe I would like to see a global standardization, regulation happening, but it is a very difficult one, and getting increasingly difficult with different companies from different parts of the world controlling different parts of this planet. And they may not have an active interest in standardization or being regulated. So the EU has the strictest regulation. It's working well, but the GDPR is not always liked. Also comes with bureaucratic hurdles. So I would like to see more global influence, but I don't see it.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate the last keynote speakers. Thank you, Martin. We're going to So it's that time of the day when we close, friends and colleagues, as we come to close this insightful 8-hour-long conference, number of presentations. In fact, we had 4 keynote presentations, 4 thematic session presentations, 3 panels. That's a lot of data to consume and process, but I'm sure you have a lot of food for thoughts, and there has been some groundbreaking ideas, some contesting ideas, some uncomfortable questions, but that is, I guess, part of the public discourse. Smart cities or any city's discourse ultimately translate into, so we have to overcome these differences and find commonalities in our approaches. Researchers, practitioners, and of course industry has to come together, find ways to work together to find the solutions to the most complex challenges we face in cities. However, the true impact of this conference extends much beyond this conversation. I just wanted to also highlight that we are not really interested at the University of Miami. Our goal is to go beyond the traditional conferencing styles, so that we do conferences and the next day we go back to business, in the same business we do. How do we change? How do we inspire change is something that is on back of our mind. So day 2 of this conference is not a public event, it's an invite-only event, but there we will explore how do we synthesize the knowledge that we discussed today from our prolific line of speakers who has gathered from all across the world, and combine these ideas into a special journal volume with the Journal of Urban Technology, which is a leading outlet and platform for smart cities. This is one of the products, one of the ways we are thinking that at least we can bring this knowledge that we are discussing, that it just doesn't flow out of the room, but channeled into something that is concrete. And that also will provide us a platform tomorrow to also understand how these institutions across our East Coast, from New York to Boston to Rotterdam and Ohio and where not that our speakers has come from, how do we continue this discourse? How do we engage more with our industry speakers and the city councils who are part of this? So really, as we leave today, let us remain committed to engaging further and building smarter, more resilient, more connected cities. So thank you all for being part of this journey, and I'm sure that will be a partner and friend in our next year's edition, which is already said to be the 10th year. So we're gonna be gearing up much bigger, much larger, but we're gonna be making sure that we can engage the wider community here in South Florida, while remain local, but still be global in our appeal and knowledge that we can collect from across our partner institutions and colleagues. So thank you, and best of luck for the rest of the year. So a big round of applause to all the speakers, panelists, delegates, and exhibitor, please. Thank you.